What's up guys, welcome all again to my channel, and today in this second chapter about how to improve your gunnery, we are going to talk about how to make a proper approach to our enemy. This is a very important thing and one of the first you have to learn. I tell you why. When you are close in a target, you see your enemy. There is a specific position between you and the enemy plane. From there, you have to choose how to approach the target to find a shot. Of course, if you find a difficult shooting solution, it's much more difficult to hit the guy, and if you hit him, maybe you only get a single shot on him, and it's not enough to destroy the target. So if you know how to take a position where you have time to aim, you don't have to apply a difficult deflection shot, and you can stay shooting your target a long time, you have a lot more chances to get the kill. The best kill is the one which you only have to make a single pass. Now I'm going to give you some examples about common grounds people make in that situations, why we have to be clever and to think a little about the situation and the enemy pilot attitude before the attack. So let's go, and we will comment after to see all the tracks. Okay, on this first track, me and my squad mate found a single Russian plane in front of us. He's the first one to die.
Reduzo potencia, tengo un contacto que me pasa por las 9 y...
¿Listo?
Nuestro auto. Empieza por la izquierda. A ver qué hace. Se te entra a ti.
Vale, este es ruso.
Es ruso, ¿no?
Afirma.
Está viniendo.
Sí, es ruso,
Ok, voy a subir y bajo a... Intento atacar ahora.
Perfecto.
Tengo que hacer una deflexión.
Vale, tú asegura los disparos, que ya has visto que... Cuidado. Si no te ha visto, no arriesgues ahí.
Subo.
Porque además me parece que está fijado en mí. Está pasándome por debajo, ¿vale?
Sí, subo. Te tengo a ti.
Le caigo, ¿vale?
Sí, entra, estás bien.
Ahí pasas por encima, en rumbo contrario, haces una split S y te colocas a los 6. En lugar de hacer eso, ¿sabes? A ver, ahora estoy detrás suya. Supongo que me habrá visto. ¿Estoy limpio?
Estás.
Esto parece Jack.
No hace nada. ¿No vas a pillar otra vez?
No lo sé.
Fixo en mí, probablemente.
Bueno, ahí le he dado. No le he podido dar un ráfagote súper largo, pero le he dado bastante.
Okay.
As you could see, you have to be clever and you should to analyze the situation before the attack. At the beginning, we have the advantage, but my mate chose a very difficult or complicated approach with a high lead deflection shot. The problem is not only to fail the shot, it's to lose the surprise if the red had not realized of our presence before. After his run, the enemy seems to see only my mate, and I'm able to get his 6 with a single split S on his vertical. Let's go with another example on a similar situation. Voy virando a derecha, ¿vale?
Vale. Que te adelanto por la derecha.
Tienes acá más cerca, al entro.
Es que no vas a perder velocidad si haces un giro tan cerrado, pero bueno. No. ¿Qué haces disparando, tío? Ya está, ya la has fastidiado, tío. Ya la has alertado.
Ah.
Hay que tener picardía, tío.
Ahí sigue. No ha picado mucho. Espera,
no ha picado mucho, pero ya te ha visto. Quédate tú por sus 9, a ver si no me ha visto a mí.
Vale.
Que no te vea como como una
Sí,
amenaza.
sí, te tengo.
As you could see, it's not a clever decision to try a very direct approach in a high angle if the enemy did not realize of you. This time we lost the surprise and the red plane escaped. Now I'm going to explain something about the angles. A real good ace who knows how to shoot with deflection, with a lot of hours behind, who feels perfectly his plane, this pilot can get shots on a very difficult and different angles on a very different approach situations, okay? But for you, the basic and the first step is to get the 6 o'clock. From there, the difficulty increases and you require a better skill. But if you know the basics, if you don't know the basics, it's impossible to try this. Why I'm explaining this? Okay, allow a skilled pilot only can shoot an enemy taking his 6. From this point, if you can get hits from more angles, if you can shoot from far distance, it's much more complicated for the enemy to defend himself, because there is not a lot of angles where he can evade you. So when you are a better pilot, you have more room, and you don't need to get close your enemy and to lose energy to kill him. So the enemy has less solutions on your attacks. But at the beginning you have to find the easy shot with easy deflections. So now I'm going to show you some tracks where I find the easy approach. You will see that are common situations on the servers and that you may find some habitual wrongs people make. Okay, the first example is a very common situation on servers, and it's so funny because sometimes I see a lot of Germans missing and overshooting, but in my dive I get a kill. It's an IL-2 on the deck attacking. The attackers used to make a run, they stand a little and they turn again to make one more run. So if you dive when he had finished his run, when you are closing he's turning again because you have a lot of altitude and you need some time to get close. So I always wait in his vertical, and when he turns back to make his run, I dive into him. I don't get enough hits, but in the next turn I finish him. Now with a fighter, I saw him below me, but instead of dive now, I turn on him with attitude. And I wait because he's doing a slight turn to the left. When I take his high 6, I dive into him. It's so difficult for him to see me. And he's dead, and I get a kill. Here the thing is not as easy as before, because I'm not sure what he's going to do, and I have to change my approach. I spot an enemy below me in a very rare part of the map. I suppose he's waiting attackers on his route. He's low but he's fast, so I'll wait a little closing, and when I saw that he turns into his lines, I start my diving. Maybe if I dive into him at the beginning, I would lose a lot of time when he turned it, because he had a lot of speed and I would need a lot of time to get close again. So it's more probable he couldn't spot me. Now, with a long brush, I rip off his wing. Okay, next example. This is from the tactical Air War server. I couldn't believe it, but a lonely Stuka went into one of our secondary bases, where there is no objects. I understand now why Germans used to lose the Tau. My LAGG-3 dies quite fast, and he's at low speed making tight slow turns, attacking different targets, so for me it's not like the first Air 2 situation, and now it's very difficult to predict where he's going to go. So I'm closing, losing some altitude, and taking his vertical, keeping the visual. So when he takes a heading during a few seconds, I'm close enough to make an easy pass, I mean. And Russian 23mm don't make prisoners. Okay, let's go with the last example. This is very important because people used to make a common groan, that is to dive too early. I spot one plane below me, but it's so fast and is on my heading. Here is where people dive to close the distance, but it's a serious error because he's so far and is so fast, and we need a lot of distance to get close and time. So we lose the energy we gain on the dive, and he has more time to spot us on his 6. If we got close enough, we don't have a lot more energy, and if he's a good pilot and we overshoot, he can kill us. Of course, we also have less energy if we find contacts in his heading, and we cannot climb as well after the attack. So now I'm following him from my altitude, and you know, at more altitude my 109 is faster than on the deck. My indicated airspeed is lower, but not the true airspeed. Now he's turning a little, and it's so good for me, but I don't know if he spots me, spots other plane, or is only patrolling. But when I'm on his vertical, I realize I perform an on split test to get his 6. And when I dive, I realize he saw a smoking attacker. And here happens other common situation. Russian pilots used to brake hard after he attacks, instead of keep his energy. So I know probably he is not braking because he spots me. So instead to try on a snapshot, I turn with him from his back where he cannot see me. Now he's climbing into other attacker and is an easy target for me. So I empty all my magazine in him. Amazingly, his plane is still flying. Stalin good, Russian bias, you know. And on the next run, I finished him. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the chapter, and on the next one I want to show you some techniques of shooting and different styles to shoot. So with what I can explain about my own style and some material I can take from other YouTube channels, I will ask them if I can put some parts here. We will see different ways to shoot, with the advantages and the disadvantages. So we will comment and analyze the strongs from my point of view, of course, because we're not always as easy like on this chapter. Sometimes they will spot us and we have to know how to shoot down them in their braking. But the first step for you is to know how to aim where you want to aim, as I comment in the first chapter, and after that to make the correct approach to have the easiest shooting solution where we can aim more time and we can score more hits. By your own you can go to the quick mission and to put some friendly planes like IL-2s, that they are smaller than bombers and stronger than a fighter. And you can start with more altitude, and from different angles you have to take H6, diving on them, and to shoot them down with a single pass at high speed. With the 109 with no extra guns, you have to be able to shoot them down. I give you also some YouTube channels on my description. They have long videos from all the sortie, and this is a very good way to see in the different styles I will show the entire approach, how they spot the contact and they choose and make his pass. Thanks and see you on the next.